It's aimed at bringing all of what Governor Umano is investing in the power sector and bringing them to one space where they can begin to find expression and power our homes and communities. My name is Samuel Ayara, and we will be beginning this event by running you through the thoughts and minds of a few stakeholders in the power sector. Yeah, but before then, I have with me Emmanuel Akwa Ibom, who's been around and then has been a big part of having to put this together in the media space. How does it feel? This would be historic. This is quite historic and would be one of Akwa Ibom's firsts. We're beginning to see so many of these firsts recently.
Yeah, thank you very much, Samuel. Yeah, it's a pleasure. You know, we cannot talk about the RISE agenda without talking about power accessibility, power affordability. Of course, you could recall that last year, about precisely on December 23rd or thereabouts, His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State had declared state of emergency on the power sector, you know, because he knows that power is a critical aspect of that. And so we're excited that the Governor has kept to that promise. And that's why we are gathered here today with major key stakeholders in that sector, you know, coming together to make some policy statements and to learn from people that have succeeded in that area. That's why we are here today.
All right, so from agriculture, rural development, infrastructure, security, and of course educational development, there isn't any aspect of the governor's RISE agenda that does not require power to be improved. Okay, so I'm being joined by the immediate past Commissioner for Power. He is at the moment acting managing director of Akwa Ibom Power Company. How does it feel to be to have this happen in your time, and what prospect does this hold for the future of power access in Akwa Ibom State?
I think firstly this is great. The sheer magnitude of the crowd just shows that this is a multi-party business. It just shows that you need all sorts of persons, collaborators in the power ecosystem. It shows the intentionality of government to make sure that power works. It shows the agreement and the knowledge by government that power is the condition precedent for development. It just shows the seriousness and the clear forthrightness that government places on power. We believe that all hands on deck with the collaboration of everybody here and walking the roadmap that's going to come out from this two-day event, that Akwa Ibom is shown on the way to chasing out darkness and dazing out of the state. Thank you very much.
All right, and then, but before we consider how much and how soon the state would be chasing out darkness, let's understand at what point is the state now on the rungs of power access in the national, on the table of national conversation?
I think without a doubt, Akwa Ibom has been in the forefront in terms of as a subnational in the march towards power. Firstly, we're the first state that as a subnational have a power generation company. We're the first state that declared power for all 5-6 years ago. We're also the first state that have taken power as part of the infrastructure element thematic LIEX on their RISE agenda. It shows clearly that this government, that all the governments, successive governments in Akwa Ibom State have been very intentional about the fact that power is really is a must-do for development to take place. It just shows that this summit just wants to bring everybody on table so that we have developed a roadmap, agree what needs to be done to unlock, to unweb, to remove all the encumbrances on the path to power forum. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so very much. You just listened to Engineer Camillus Umar. It was good having you on this conversation.
Same
and
here.
I trust that I wish you very best of the conversations all through these 2 days.
Well done.
You're welcome. Good to have you. All right, so we will be looking at power. They say is money, real big money, and there's no two ways about it. So we'll be looking at Governor Umano's commitment to consolidating all of this investment and making it a big kill for the state in the long run. So we're being joined by the managing director of Akwa Ibom Investment Corporation, Pastor Imobasi Jacob, a big one from Governor Umano, and then a good time to reflect on how much money Akwa Ibom State can make from power. This energy summit, what prospect does it hold for that future of optimization of government investment?
First, we want to thank His Excellency for hosting the summit. For me, it's a summit whose time has come. We are sitting on electricity energy assets in the state that we're not able to put to use because of the regulatory constraint that existed before the reform through the amendment of the Constitution. So it's an opportunity for us now to look at all the assets within the value chain and attract investment to be able to utilize this asset to produce electricity for all. The theme of the summit is universal availability of electricity. Our state is blessed to have assets in the gas sector, generation sector. We were the first to set up an energy distribution company, and the reform that the state is embarking upon to reposition the state as an emerging electricity market in Nigeria is good for investment. You need to have the regulatory environment right and then attract capital to help us develop it.
Thank you so very much, Pastor Imobasi Jacob. That will be all. I wish you the very best of deliberations in the course of this two-day event.
Thank you.
It's fine, it's fine. Okay, so optimization of power, improving access and ensuring that from our urban centers all the way through to the deepest of our rural communities, that we have people who understand that power should be a right and not a privilege. Power should be that one phenomenon that quickens livelihood and is an item government should be committed to ensuring the citizens are given regardless of what part of the state they are. Okay, so next on this conversation would be the chairman of Ibom Power Company, Engineer Eti Doiyang. We've had Ibom Power Company as a critical national power asset, and then now the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Summit. What prospects does this hold for the optimization of operation of what we are doing at Ibom Power Company, and then how this will cascade down to end users as distribution?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is the much we have been waiting for, and I want to seize this opportunity to thank His Excellency Pastor Umoino, for this major stride in the industry. We were actually looking at when shall this day come, because when you legislate, you need to call on the stakeholders and do what and do the needful, and that is exactly what he's doing. He's holding the bulls by the horn, and by inviting all the stakeholders, because we in Ibom Power, we can generate power, but we are not able to sell. We can generate power and passing it on to the discos, and then you are not getting your money back to be able to purchase gas and all of that. So the value chain, the entire value chain is what His Excellency is doing now. So from generation to distribution, and to passing it on. Of course, the distribution will be done by the utility company, and of course, we having the mix here, NBED is here, TCN is here, all critical stakeholders. For me, the end result of who buys the power is important. The end result of who uses the power is important, and this is what it's all about. With the legislation that is going to be passed today, we are actually very much in tune with the fact that when we generate power, we are going to sell and we are going to get the money back. Remember, when we are selling currently, NBET will pay you 20% or 30% as the case may be. So you are not able to purchase gas. So in all of this, when you look at the value chain, what Akwa Ibom State wants to achieve, the narrative is that the industries that His Excellency is bringing up on board, the critical stakeholders are to use this power. Once we finish this summit, for me, the breakdown is that we are going to have the critical stakeholders come to us in Ibom Power. For example, how do we actually optimize? How do we generate? How do we make use of this summit? Unlocking the finances, getting investors in, and all of that. So I'm very happy that it's happening in our time.
Thank you so very much, Engineer Tidiyang. Felt good having you. So we'll continue a quick one. So we'll be joined by a critical partner on this summit. He's had to travel all the way from Europe, Germany, and Netherlands. Okay, it's good to have you here, Mr. Adrian Sharp. It's good to have you here. How does it feel, what informs this interest you're having in the Akwa Ibom energy sector?
Well, we in the Akwa Ibom sector, we have the interest to build here the current power central and help to upgrade it, expand it with a second energy central, gas-fired turbines, so that we can move Akwa Ibom and fulfill the energy supply that is required. The most important part in this is to find we bring in the investment with us to support that, so that we can build that also and could fulfill that.
All right, does the groundwork, the legislation and laws on ground support the viability of this very summit and subsequent investment in power sector?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's very important that we have this in place with the government into a PPP, so that we can together build on this frame and supply everybody with energy. Energy is the key factor to industrialize also further the state and move forwards.
Thank you so very much.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you. Okay, so we will be having more people come to us. We'll be having someone who's critically involved in the business ecosystem. We understand for so long a time that there is this conversation around power being the bane of business development in Nigeria. So I'm being joined by Mr. Friday Obono. He is an entrepreneur of no mean repute, and then I'd want to have you in a minute or two tell your story with power. How has power affected, inadequate power affected your business, and what prospect does this summit hold in optimizing what you do?
Thank you very much for having me. I want to first of all thank you and thank the government, especially the governor, for seeing the future of knowing that solution to every business, be it government or be it private, is power that holds it. So, as a business person, I know the cost of generating power. In Nigeria, you want to run a restaurant, you want to run a petroleum, you first of all set up a power generating company, because you cannot run a business without doing power. And I critically, power affected me. I have a factory that could not move from the ground because of power, and we know the importance of power. And so, basically, as a person being affected, we make sure we do everything to ensure that we bring solution to this problem. And I want to thank His Excellency for giving this platform to enable us get a solution for power sector, for private business, general business, government business, and to the general public. I thank you very much for this. I appreciate this.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Friday Obono. A solution for private businesses, corporate businesses, and of course the public sector. Will be joined again by a member of the National Assembly. Like I said, last week we saw the Energy Summit in Abuja that was organized by the federal government, and then had all of the major power clusters across Nigeria converge on Abuja. Let's have you share your thoughts about this very innovation by Governor Umono at deepening access and availability.
Governor has just come. Let me first of all congratulate Akwa Ibom State through the governor of the state for this wonderful and lovable initiative. Of course, you know the relevance of power. Power is everything. Without power, you cannot achieve all the purposes of development in the state. So this is a very critical aspect of livelihood, and I thank God that the governor is pursuing it with all his zeal and encouragement.
Thank you very much. Yeah. In 2 days, beginning today, all of the critical power stakeholders in Nigeria would be converging on the 4 points by Sheraton, Akwa Ibom State, for the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Summit. Just here, we already have Governor Umono, Akwa Ibom State, the elected governor, who's been around, whose mantra has been the Rise Agenda. Let's continue to champion both strides and
Thank you, the brass band, and thank you, all our esteemed guests. Please, we welcome you. And to get started, we will take the national anthem. The first stanza, please. Stand, please, for the Akwa Ibom State Anthem. As a state under God, I would invite the head of the civil service, Elder Effiong, to please come to the microphone to lead us as we commit this event to God. Elder Effiong, please.
We pray in Jesus' mighty name. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for bringing us together for this Akwa Ibom State Electricity Summit 2025. Thank you for bringing all the participants, the resource persons, and everyone here together here. Thank you for the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Pastor Umar Basino, PhD. Thank you for the entire people of Akwa Ibom State. Dear Heavenly Father, our Lord, our God, we pray that your Spirit guides the discussions, the deliberations. At the end of it, oh Heavenly Father, let there be affordable, accessible, and reliable electricity for the people of Akwa Ibom State. Thank you for hearing our prayers, for prayer in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Please, we can sit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good morning, Your Excellency and Your Excellencies. Good morning to all the very distinguished guests that are gathered here. Your Excellency, today we open officially the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Summit 2025 under the theme Fulfilling the Promise of Reliable, Affordable, and Universal Access to Electricity in our state, that is Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, whereas the Constitution would say that security and welfare of the citizen is the primary function and focus of government, I dare add that maybe the third, as important as security and welfare, is access to power, or perhaps we can say power security, which underscores the strategic importance of the event that starts today, which will last for the next 2 days. But before we get started, Your Excellency, I'd like to crave your indulgence to allow me to take another 3 or 4 minutes to acknowledge our leaders from across the country who are gathered here for this electricity summit. Let me invite all of us, please, to accept that we begin as we put our hands together to celebrate and welcome the visionary, His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Moeno, PhD. You're welcome, Your Excellency. Let me also acknowledge and welcome the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, who incidentally also chaired the planning committee for this electricity summit. Please, can we put our hands together? Welcome distinguished Senator Dr. Mrs. Akun Eyangaye, Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State. We welcome you, Your Excellency. Let me respectfully honor and appreciate the presence of the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, he is represented at this event by the Chairman, House Committee on Power. Can we please celebrate Right Honorable Victor Nwokolo? Can we put our hands together to honor his presence? I also honor respectfully, Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister in charge of the Ministry of Power in Nigeria. He is represented here by his Chief Technical Advisor. Can we celebrate, please respectfully, Adedoyo Olowononi? Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate him? Your Excellency, because power is important and power is strategic, and because Nigeria is becoming one in the true sense of the word, we have governors from other states who have come here today to join the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Summit. 3 governors are here. Let me ask all of us to please acknowledge and welcome the governor of our neighbor, Cross River State, represented here by the Honorable Commissioner, Power, or rather, Renewable Energy. Please, can we celebrate Prince Eka Williams? The governor of Abia State is also here. I love the neighborliness that is displayed by the state in this region. Can we please put our hands together for his representative, Honorable Commissioner Power and Public Utilities, Engineer Ikechukwu Monday. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate him? Your Excellency, the governor of Enugu State is also here, represented by the Secretary to the State Government in Enugu State. Please, can we celebrate Professor Chidebere Onya? Can we put our hands together to honor him? Your Excellency, from Enugu State, if you allow me to please complete the honors in that particular state before I come out, the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Renewable Resources and Energy is also here, Frank Obonna. Please, can we put our hands together? All right, seated there at the back, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Enugu State on Revenue, also here, Adenike. Please, where is he seated, or where is she seated? Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate her, Adenike Okebu. Thank you so much. We honor all of you, and we truly appreciate you. Let me celebrate the Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the Right Honorable Elder Udeme Otong. Please, can we celebrate him? Thank you very much. I acknowledge respectfully all members of the National Assembly that are here. Distinguished Senator Ekong Samson. Can we celebrate him? Distinguished Senator Emmanuel Ibogasian is also here. Members of the House of Representatives that have also joined us, the Right Honorable Emmanuel Ukbong-Udo. Can we celebrate him? Right Honorable Ime Okon, Right Honorable Obong Paul Ekpo. Can we celebrate him? And of course, the Right Honorable Udwak Udodo. We celebrate all of you. And please, through these ones that I've mentioned by name, I acknowledge all other members of the National Assembly that have joined us here. I also acknowledge all members of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate all of them? Please, let's celebrate them. Don't get tired. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, let me acknowledge respectfully the Secretary to the Government of Akwa Ibom State, Prince Enobongowa. Can we celebrate him, please? The Director General of Campaigns, Your Excellency, a leader and strategic partner in the events that we have today, Chief Assam, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. The Chief Delivery Advisor to the Governor, Mr. Nyefiok Johnson. Please, can we also honor him? And the Head of the Civil Service who led us to pray. Can we please honor Elder Effiong Essien? Please let me celebrate all honorable commissioners in the Akwa Ibom State Executive Council. We thank you, we appreciate you. The Dean of the College, Mpisong Frank Achibong. The Attorney General of Akwa Ibom State, Okodom, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. And let me honor, please, the Commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Power in Akwa Ibom State, the Right Honorable Iniobong Robson. Please, can we celebrate them? Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the MD and Chief Executive of the Rural Electrification Agency is here in Akwa Ibom State today. Please, can we celebrate him? Dr. Abba Abubakar Aliyu. We celebrate you, and we truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. We honor you. The Chairman of Ibom Power Company is also present, Engineer Etido Iyang. We celebrate you. And the Acting MD Please, can we also celebrate Engineer? Please, we celebrate you and we thank you. Thank you so much for finding time to be a part of this event. It should be a long introduction, but I'm going to try to punctuate so we can move over to the meat of why we are really gathered. But Your Excellency, let me acknowledge all the corporate organizations that have joined us here. So many of them, particularly those who play strategic role in the development and the power sector. Let me acknowledge the United Nations Development Program representative. Your Excellency, they are represented at this event by Dr. Tony Muhumusa. Please, can we put our hands together? All right, see him here. Please, we celebrate you and we thank you. Let me also acknowledge respectfully the Tony Blair Institute, Your Excellency. We have the Deputy Country Director of that institute, Obianuju Uchenna. Please, can we put our hands together to honor the TBI? Thank you so much. We truly appreciate your presence. Your Excellency, we have the MD NBET Bulk Electricity Trading Limited also present. Please, can we celebrate Johnson Akinlowon? Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And the Executive Secretary of the Association of Power Generation Companies also here. Please, can we celebrate Dr. Joy Ogaji? Please, can we celebrate all these names I have listed? We truly appreciate them and we thank them. Your Excellency, other professional organizations, if we have the time, we should want to make this longer, but we celebrate all professional organizations that have joined us in this event today. Thank you so much for being here. We celebrate the academic. Thank you so much for also being in this event today. Let me please just mention one or two as we end. Your Excellency, let me mention that the Chartered Institute of Power Engineers, they are here in this event. I acknowledge them through their president, Engineer Israel Abraham. Please, can we celebrate? All right, thank you so much. I love to see them when I mention their names. And let me also acknowledge the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Akwa Ibom State Chapter. Engineer Ezekiel is the state chairman. Please, can we celebrate him also? Thank you very much. All the vice chancellors, all the professors that are here, we honor you, we appreciate you. But I acknowledge the head of the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, University of Uyo, Dr. Nsebong Okpura. Please, can we celebrate him? Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to end as I honor permanent secretaries, chairman of boards, heads of extra ministerial department. We honor you, we appreciate you. Other corporate organizations, banks, and big players in the oil and gas sector and energy sector, we also appreciate you. Savannah Energy is here represented. We thank you, the MD, regional manager. We appreciate all of you, and we thank you. Your Excellency, the security commanders, they are also here. The Commissioner of Police, Akwa Ibom State, is recognized on their behalf. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate them, please? And Your Excellency, I end as I honor chairmen of local government areas who have also come out to be a part of this event. Please, can we put our hands together to honor all of them? I see the chairman of Ikorekpene, the hosts local government seated to my left. I've just received a notice, please, that the Bayelsa State Governor is also here and is represented by Engineer Olise Kemenabo. Please, can we celebrate? All right, thank you. Can we celebrate him? I'm sure the protocol would keep the governor of Bayelsa State where he should be seated. Please, please. Can we put our hands together to honor him one more time? Thank you so much. We honor all of you, ladies and gentlemen of the praise. For those not mentioned, it's for want of time, but understand that we honor and celebrate your presence. Your Excellency, it is now up for us to have the welcome address for the State Electricity Summit 2025, and it will be given by the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, who served as the chairperson of the organizing committee for this 2025 Electricity Summit. Please put your hands together, celebrate and welcome Her Excellency, distinguished Senator Dr. Mrs. Akon Eyagayi.
Thank you, Dr. Barrister Morgan Ekanem, for that great job of recognizing our esteemed guests. That shortens my own part of it. I want to say thank you again. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, the best performing governor in Nigeria. A man of vision, insight, that has gathered us here today. I want to say you're welcome, sir. The Honorable Speaker, Federal House of Representatives, here ably represented by the Chairman, House Committee on Power, Honorable Victor Nwobolu, the representatives of the governors of the 4 states earlier recognized by Barrister Morgan, distinguished senators, members of National Assembly, the representative of the Honorable Minister of Power, the Honorable Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, and all the House members. Please permit me to adopt the protocol earlier enunciated by Barrister Morgan. Your Excellency and my esteemed development partners, captains of industry, regulators, and all distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of my performing governor, His Excellency Pastor Umar Basieno, PhD, to welcome you to this historic gathering. The Akwa Ibom State Electricity Summit 2025. This, I would say, is the first time we are having this type of summit in our state, wholly devoted to charting the course of a sub-national electricity market. This summit is convened at a defining moment with the passage of the Electricity Act 2023 and the 5th constitutional alteration. Nigeria has empowered states to take charge of their electricity destinies. Akwa Ibom State has seized this opportunity. The Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly had passed the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Bill, and the governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Pastor Moino, had assented to the Electricity Law 2025. These instruments now provide the foundation for us to establish our own electricity market designed to serve the needs of our people, attract private investment, and ensure that every household and enterprise has access to reliable power. Our state is blessed with abundant natural resources, growing renewable potential, and a proven generation company in Ibom Power. Yet, we still face unreliable supply, underserved communities, and a heavy dependence on the national grid. This summit signals our determination to change that story. The purpose of this summit, with the theme Attaining Energy Security and Universal Access for Akwa Ibom State within the framework of the Nigerian electricity supply industry, captures our ambition. We are not here merely to discuss ideas. We are here to align politics, policy, and investment with the technical and financial reforms that can deliver real change. Let me emphasize that His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, expects that at the end of this summit, a realistic action program will be discussed, validated, and delivered to him. This action program must clearly outline the steps required to operationalize our state electricity market and to deliver reliable electricity access to our people. The summit is deliberately structured to ensure that every discussion builds towards that outcome. Allow me to please briefly review the 5 core speaking sessions and what we expect them to deliver. The first session has to do with policy and legal frameworks for the Akwa Ibom State electricity market. This first session sets the stage. It will examine our newly enacted electricity law and policy and interrogate whether our framework is sufficient, robust, and implementable. Participants must identify any legal or institutional gaps and advise on how best to build the regulatory and market institutions that can inspire confidence in investors, citizens, and federal stakeholders alike. The second session will deal with ensuring a smooth transition to effective regulation. This session is very crucial. As we transit from federal to state regulation, we must ensure that our regulator is strong, credible, and professional. We expect this session to help us indicate the key success factors in establishing a fully functional Akwa Ibom State Electricity Regulatory Commission. The outcome here must be a concrete pathway for attaining regulatory independence and operational excellence. The third session will deal with investment and financing Akwa Ibom's vision for energy security. No reform succeeds without financing. This session will focus on how to mobilize the billions of naira required for generation, distribution, and renewal projects. We expect a frank discussion of private investment incentives, the role of the development partners, and innovative financing models. All this will be based with case studies drawn from experience. The deliverable here is a short list of investments, priorities, and the frameworks that will make them bankable. The fourth session will deal with developing a sustainable electricity market for Akwa Ibom State. The fourth session moves beyond laws and money to the heart of the matter: how to design a market that works. This means developing a clear market structure, setting performance standards for operators, ensuring cost-reflective yet socially sensitive tariffs, and embedding renewable energy and rural electrification. We expect this session to define the operational features of our markets and provide clarity on how consumers and businesses will experience improved service. The last session will deal with electrifying underserved communities and expanding access. Finally, we must not forget our people. The session was deliberately scheduled as the final session. Universal access is our goal, and this session must highlight practical strategies for taking electricity to our rural and underserved communities, whether through grid extension, mini-grids, and renewable energy solutions. This session must produce a clear strategy for inclusion, ensuring that no citizen is left behind as we build our electricity future. At the close of the summit, we will put forward the State Electricity Sector Action Program, a document that will consolidate the insights and strategies from all sessions into a more definitive document. This action program will be presented to His Excellency, the Visionary, the Akwa Ibom State Governor, for immediate consideration and implementation. A call to action. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a historic moment not only for Akwa Ibom State, but for Nigeria as a whole. The political economy of electricity reform has taught us that success depends not on policy documents alone, but on leadership, disciplined execution, and broad stakeholder collaboration. I urge all participants from our dear states, from the governors to our highly esteemed private investors, development partners, and community leaders to approach the summit with seriousness and focus. Let us be frank about the challenges, ambitious about the opportunities, and disciplined in designing solutions that are practicable. As the chairperson of the organizing committee, I want to again warmly welcome you to Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise. Let us together make this summit the beginning of a new chapter where Akwa Ibom State leads the way in showing how state-led electricity markets can transform Nigeria's development journey. Let Akwa Ibom arise. We welcome you once again and thank you for choosing to spend these few days, 2 days, with us. May God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, the brass band. Thank you very much, the brass band. Your Excellencies, next on our program, the one you have, will be His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State official opening address. But just to prepare our hearts and our minds for that official address that is to come a few moments from now, I'm going to invite the multimedia team, directed by the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Information, to please give us an overview of the goings on in Akwa Ibom State in the power sector and, of course, other strategic sectors. It would help to open the minds of our participants to discuss frankly, as the Deputy Governor and Chairperson of the Organizing Committee has advised that we do. The multimedia team.
Electricity is not just about megawatts, it is about our people. Electricity and Akwa Ibom's energy security are at the heart of attaining our state's Arise agenda.
Every dream of development is powered by one force: energy. Without reliable electricity, industries cannot thrive, hospitals cannot save lives, schools cannot function effectively, and communities cannot grow. Governor Umoeno understands this truth. That is why energy security is at the heart of Akwa Ibom's bold transformation push. The 191 Ibom power plant is a key power generation asset the state is eager to optimize for a guaranteed steady electricity supply and to power the newly created Akwa Ibom State electricity market. New transmission lines, substations, and transformers are reinforcing the grid, while a technical audit and recovery plan for the plant is underway to ensure stability and expansion. The administration is also expanding the grid and invested in solarization projects that are spreading across the state. From streetlights illuminating cityscapes at night to solar installations powering model schools, health centers, and even police stations, Governor Umoeno's vision is clear: reliable power for homes, businesses, and society at large.
We are going to set up a power infrastructure committee so that they can work with the Honorable Commissioner and stakeholders to hold a power summit and tell us the way forward. Tell us the way forward. Break this thing down so that we know where we are going. Let's treat this as an emergency. Who are the stakeholders? Get yourself together, tell us the steps. But I believe that together we can come out of this. I believe that Akwa Ibom can generate power 24/7. I believe that. We have problems with our power sector. We've declared an emergency on power by the grace of God. We should be able to come out with the power master plan, the roadmap, the things we want to do, itemize them 1, 2, 3, 4, so that we can all know how to walk the talk.
In a groundbreaking step, Akwa Ibom has enacted its own electricity law, one of the first states in Nigeria to do so, alongside an improved electricity policy. These instruments are designed to institutionalize the administration's vision of universal electricity access by 2034. They also establish the regulatory, planning, and financing bodies needed to give clarity and certainty to investors, making Akwa Ibom a model for sub-national electricity reform. Akwa Ibom under Governor Umoeno is also committed to clean, renewable power. By 2034, at least 25% of its projected 1,100 megawatt capacity will come from renewables. With rich solar radiation, abundant biomass, small hydro potential, and coastal wind corridors, the state is well positioned to harness diverse energy resources for inclusive growth. This commitment is being crystallized in the upcoming Akwa Ibom Electricity Summit, a first-of-its-kind platform to bring together regulators, investors, and partners to shape a self-sufficient, investor-friendly power market.
His Excellency the Governor of the state has this burning desire to create for the people of Akwa Ibom an economy that is highly diversified, very strong, very vibrant, and that would be driven by industrialization. So the question is, do we have what it takes to achieve that? Is it possible? I tell you very quickly, yes. We have all the indices that support a vibrant economy. Our population, Akwa Ibom people are very hospitable. The serene environment of Akwa Ibom, the major challenge we have is energy poverty. You can't think of creating an economy that is vibrant and prosperous without electricity. So the governor has decided, to take advantage of the unbundling of the system, which allows the state governments to create their own electricity markets, to call all the critical stakeholders in the energy sector to come congregate in Akwa Ibom State. And I can promise you that it will mark the end of energy poverty in Akwa Ibom State.
But energy is only the foundation. On this strong base, Governor Umoino is building a future through the Arise Agenda, a holistic blueprint transforming every sector of the state. Agriculture is receiving unprecedented attention through the Ibom Model Farm. Farmers are being empowered with training, funding, and modern tools to achieve food security, create jobs, and retain wealth within the state. Rural development has taken a new turn, with life-touching projects spread across the 31 local government areas, model healthcare centers, model schools, rural roads, and other projects are bringing services closer to the people. The governor and our administration is not paying lip service to infrastructure. So far, over 771 kilometers of roads have either been completed or are underway, linking rural and urban communities and opening markets. Security of lives and property is a key focus of the administration under the Arise Agenda. This has included the establishment of a standalone Ministry of Internal Security and Waterways, the provision of gunboats, surveillance vehicles, and logistics support, as well as the construction of a security and command center, among other initiatives. Educational development under the Arise Agenda is holistic. From basic to tertiary levels, the administration has continued to develop infrastructure and strengthen human capital. The state is also reimagining itself as a global destination. The Arise Resort, the new 5,000 capacity convention center, Ibom hotels, and a modern shopping city are redefining Akwa Ibom as a magnet for tourism. In aviation, Akwa Ibom is soaring higher. A modern terminal is about to be completed, while the aviation village and specialized clinic are consolidating the state's position as the aviation hub of the Gulf of Guinea. One of the most defining features of Governor Umoino's leadership is his compassionate approach. Through the Arise Compassionate Homes Initiative, 267 fully furnished two-bedroom houses equipped with solar power and water supply have been delivered to vulnerable families. Over 500,000 households are benefited from the free distribution of staple foods, among other interventions that are restoring dignity and hope. From power plants to solar-powered schools, from hospitals and police stations to highways lit with smart street lights, Governor Umoino's Arise Agenda is reshaping lives and communities. Akwa Ibom is not waiting for the future, it is building it. And that future is bright, inclusive, and undeniably electric.
For the amazing things he's doing to develop Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, as we prepare to hear from you, an archaeologist and renowned developer was asked for a formula for national development. And he said, and I quote, sustainable energy plus food security plus healthy environment equals full employment and a better future. His name was Phil Harding, And Your Excellency, looking at how you lead Akwa Ibom State, I think that you share in its proposition that if we have sustainable energy and full employment and food security, Akwa Ibom State would become the prototype of a great state in Nigeria. I want to therefore invite all of us who are here to please accept, to put our hands together and celebrate His Excellency, the great governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Omoina, as he comes for his opening remarks. Please, we continue to celebrate and honor him.
Thank you so much. Please, let's take our seats. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Chairman Planning Committee of this Electricity Summit, distinguished Senator Akwa Ibom, the representative of the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Victor Nwakolo, Chairman House Committee on Power, we welcome you. The representatives of all the governors, particularly of the South states that are here, thank you so much for lending us a hand, lending us a voice as we learn from you how you made it, how Abia made it, how Enugu made it. We don't like to reinvent the wheel too much. When others have made it happen, we should be able to learn. And these 2 days will provide us that opportunity. So we thank you. We thank our governor and my brother governors for coming and sending representatives. Cross River, Bayelsa, Abia, and Enugu states, we thank you. There couldn't be greater collaboration than that. Distinguished senators and members of the National Assembly, both serving and non-serving that are here. The representative of the Honorable Minister of Power, Chief Adedayo Adelabo, FCA. The Honorable Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, principal officers and members of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the DG of our campaigns, and former ambassador to the State of Russia, Your Excellency Ambassador Assam, SAN. The MD of the Rural Electrification Agency, it's good to see you here again. We were with you last week, and thank you for hosting us. The country director of the United Nations Development Program that is here represented, members of the Tony Blair Institute that are here, the United Kingdom Nigeria Infrastructure Advisory Facility, represented by your team lead, we welcome you. The Secretary to Government, Head of the Civil Service, the Executive Assistant, Chief Delivery Advisor to the Governor, thank you for delivering again on this Power Summit. Members of the Executive Council that are here with us, service commanders, both serving and retired, professional organizations, corporate bodies, captains of industry, chairmen of boards and commissions, permanent secretaries, heads of extra-ministerial departments, the academia, the chairman of local government councils, led by the chairman of Algon, senior citizens, statesmen, political leaders, critical stakeholders in the power sector. Other investors that are here, I've seen a few of you that we met in Abuja last week. Thank you for fulfilling your promise to be here, and I'm sure from here we'll move to sites. Members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, ladies and gentlemen, to my mind, today marks a major turning point for Akwa Ibom State in the area of electricity. For decades, our people have lived with the paradox of great energy potential but could not fully appropriate the gift. We are blessed with abundance of gas, a state-owned power plant, yet too many of our homes, businesses, schools, and hospitals are grappling with epileptic power supply. The question then becomes, why is our state-owned Ibom Power, which has an installed capacity of 191 megawatts, not working optimally for the benefit of our people since it was established in 2001? What clear paths can we adopt to make it work, despite the huge resources that have been sunk into its operation, of which we today are still repaying the Afri-Exim Bank loan of $9 million? What do we need to do to get our IPC working to the benefit of our people? These are very hard questions, and we will dare to tread on grounds that Angel feared to tread on in this summit. The hard questions must be asked, answers must be proffered, actions must be taken, because if we don't, then this will be another talk shop. We would have gathered the key players in this industry from the length and breadth of this country for nothing. The time has come that someone should step out there and take the decision to make this work. I dare say, by the grace of God, by the mandate of Akwa Ibom people, I will take that decision. Therefore, this electricity summit, even though it holds great promise to us, should not just be another talk shop. It should chart a roadmap and be seen as a call to action with clear timelines on who should do what. When will such action be completed? What are the clear expectations outlined? How did our brother states and our sister states achieve power 24/7? And I'm glad my brother governors had gladly sent their commissioners for power that helped midwife this to come share with us their experiences. It is only then that we can successfully tell ourselves we are ready to move forward on our journey to achieving electricity for all. Our vision in Akwa Ibom for total electricity access is anchored on a simple principle. Electricity must not be seen as a luxury. It is a fundamental enabler of modern life. When a rural health clinic has steady power, lives are saved. When our farmers can process and store their produce, incomes rise. When our artisans have reliable energy, productivity soars. When our children can study under good lighting, the future becomes even brighter, both literally and figuratively. Electricity is the basic and most important resource to give our people the opportunities to live longer and live better. Accordingly, the collective aspiration by the governors of the states to attain energy security in their territories is one that must be deliberately planned and purposefully executed. Under our Electricity Policy 2024 and Electricity Law 2025, we now have the legal, regulatory, and policy foundation to establish the Akwa Ibom State electricity market. As we embark on this journey, the theme of this summit comes to the fore. In other words, Akwa Ibom's electricity reforms will be attained within the context of Nigeria's reforming, reshaping, and redesigning electricity supply industry. On this point, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of collaboration between the federal government and states as envisaged in the Electricity Act. Last week in Abuja, the Akwa Ibom State government executed a memorandum of understanding with the Rural Electrification Agency that commits both parties to working closely together to share information, data, personnel, and technical assistance in expanding electricity access to Akwa Ibom's unserved and underserved communities. I made a commitment to provide a facility and a level playing field for investors who want to invest in Akwa Ibom in giving us clean energy. This sort of close collaboration in resolving the huge challenge of extending access to the grid areas of our state is what should equally characterize the process of transiting responsibility for the on-grid from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to the soon-to-be established Akwa Ibom State Electricity Regulatory Commission. I would like to see this transition happen in a beneficial, mutually developed, and comprehensive manner. Similarly, I recall that almost 15 years ago, the 4 PhD states came together to attempt to take into their hands the responsibility for ensuring their states' respective energy security. That objective was partially attained following the privatization exercise in 2013. With the enactment of the Electricity Act, we are now at a stage where we must come to the logical fulfillment of our original and overriding strategic intent to take direct responsibility for our energy security. To do this, we require that the 4 states work closely with each other and with the National Council on Privatization and its Secretariat, the Bureau of Public Enterprise, which I sincerely hope we will, to clear all relevant bottlenecks so that energy can transit properly to the state. Electricity access is the backbone of our RISE agenda, driving rural development and assisting vulnerable households to have clean power and water through our compassionate homes, amongst others. Already, we are integrating clean energy solutions into our vision. Our solarization projects across model healthcare centers and schools are ensuring that critical public services no longer depend on unreliable power supply. Our compressed natural gas mass transportation plan, the introduction of electric vehicles, and other renewable energy initiatives are all part of a deliberate strategy to reduce emissions, cut costs, and build a sustainable energy future. We recognize that achieving this vision requires strong partnerships with the private sector, development finance institutions, the federal government, and our local communities. At this point, it is necessary to state that a crucial first step in this regard, after 12 years of having PHED manage electricity distribution in our state with mixed results at best, is for PHED to take the immediate step of establishing electricity distribution subsidiaries in each of the 4 states with appropriate board representation that recognizes each host state's historical investment in the PhD regulatory asset base. Akwa Ibom must now have its full shares in PhD, and we need to find out where those shares are. We are determined more than ever before now to pursue those shares and make Akwa Ibom take its rightful place. For us in Akwa Ibom, this is a necessary prelude to executing our preference for public-private partnerships, PPP, that bring sound corporate governance practices at board level, bring quality management at executive level, attract cost-efficient capital from development finance institutions and donors, transfer technical expertise, and ensure sustainability without overburdening consumers. The Akwa Ibom vision is ambitious, but it is eminently achievable. It will require discipline, transparency, and the support of the generality of the people. It will require those entrusted with leadership in this sector to act with integrity and resist the temptation to politicize electricity supply or compromise regulatory independence. It will require us not to see what we're about doing as witch hunting, because there's no witch to hunt anybody. We are simply going to ask the right questions. We are simply going to get the right answers. I believe it is time we take the business of electricity seriously and stop paying lip service to it and using it as a campaign slogan year after year. I believe that if all of us in this room are committed to serving our people, being honest with our people, we can get electricity supply to our people. Therefore, let me be clear. In Akwa Ibom State, electricity sector governance will be professional, transparent, and entirely citizen-focused. Only by so doing can we put in place a state electricity sector that will stand the test of time. Today, I invite every stakeholder, the federal government, through its various MDAs, investors, industry professionals, community leaders, and stakeholders, civil society organizations, and ordinary citizens to join me in embarking on this crucial journey. Let us work together to light every home, every business, and energize every childhood dream in Akwa Ibom State. Let us make our state an outstanding model for subnational electricity reform in Nigeria. Because when we electrify Akwa Ibom State and enable affordable, reliable, and clean electricity across the state, we are creating an Akwa Ibom in which we all rise and stand tall together. As we say, we all can then arise to a renewed hope. Let me congratulate Her Excellency the Deputy Governor and Chair of this Summit Organization Committee for a job well done, for reaching out to everyone that matters in the electricity community. And we hope that these 2 days we'll be able to sit and speak truths to ourselves. Let me thank the consultant for doing a great job, bringing his experience to bear, and all those who have joined hands in making this event successful. I've decided to shut down in this hotel in the next 2 days. I want to be trained. I want to be educated. I want the right questions to be asked. I want the right answers to be provided. Let me again end by emphasizing the need for an actionable plan. We can't live here without having an actionable plan with timelines of execution. And I know we can do it because when we are all committed and resolved to get it done, we will do it for the people of Akwa Ibom State. We have done it before. We have had major milestones in the last 2.5 years. Now that we have taken on electricity frontally, I have no doubt in my mind that we will do it. Let's arise together and let the light shine in every home in Akwa Ibom. Thank you and welcome. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, and thank you to all our participants. Your Excellency, next is for us to receive the first keynote address from the Honorable Minister, Charge of the Ministry of Power in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But just before we invite him, Your Excellency, let me note that protocol, as we would say in law, protocol was made for man and not otherwise. Man wasn't made for protocol. That is to allow me introduce the National Security Advisor, who is now in our midst. We're expecting him, and we're happy to have him join us. Your Excellency, he's represented at the Security Summit by Air Vice Marshal E. Effium. Please can we put our hands together to celebrate and welcome him. Thank you so much. Now that he's here, we know that everything security is handled with the other security chiefs and commanders that are here. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, now I'm going to have the singular honor to welcome respectfully the Honorable Minister in charge of the Ministry of Power in our country, Chief Adebayo Adelabu FCA, represented at this event, as I had already hinted, by the Chief Technical, or his Chief Technical Advisor. Please can we put our hands together and welcome Adedayo Oloni, representing the Honorable Minister in charge of the Ministry of Power in our country. Please celebrate him as he comes. First keynote address. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Dr. Umo Eno, Executive Governor, Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, Dr. Akon Eyakenyi, Deputy Governor, Akwa Ibom State. The representative of the Speaker of the House, Honorable Victor Nwokolo, House Chair on Power. Representatives of the governors from Cross River State, Abia State, Enugu State, and Bayelsa State. Secretary to the Akwa Ibom State Government, Commissioner for Power, Akwa Ibom State, and other commissioners here present. The Honorable Attorney General, Commissioner for Justice in Akwa Ibom State, other members of the Akwa Ibom State Council here present. The Managing Director and CEO of the REA here, and then also the Managing Director of the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trader. Members of the press, industry stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to deliver these opening remarks at the important occasion, the Akwa Ibom Electricity Summit 2025. This gathering is both timely and significant, as it brings together critical stakeholders across the electricity value chain to chart a sustainable path for development of the Akwa Ibom State electricity market. Let me begin by commending the Akwa Ibom State government and the good people of the state, under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Umo Eno, for taking bold and decisive steps to secure the state's energy future. The approval of the Akwa Ibom electricity policy, the signing into law of the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Law 2025, and now the convening of this summit with experts and stakeholders from both federal and state levels and the private sector reflect a visionary approach to shaping a viable roadmap for the Akwa Ibom State electricity market. Importantly, I would also like to acknowledge the exemplary leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, under whose renewed hope agenda we are witnessing bold reforms and remarkable progress across the power sector. It was through the Electricity Act of 2023, signed into law by Mr. President, that state governments were empowered to play an active role in the electricity state market development today. Today's event is a direct manifestation of that transformative vision, which seeks to decentralize electricity markets, enhance subnational participation, and ultimately improve energy access in Nigeria. As Akwa Ibom State embarks on the development of its electricity market, let me reaffirm that the federal government, through the Ministry of Power and its agencies, starts ready to partner with the state government to realize its resolve of delivering reliable and affordable electricity to its people. We believe such ambitions can only be achieved through collaboration, cooperation, and strong partnerships between the federal, states, and local governments. While fully always respecting the constitutional right of Akwa Ibom State Government to determine the trajectory of its electricity market, I must emphasize the importance of effective coordination with the federal government. As custodians of the national grid and the wholesale market, it is crucial to ensure that state-level initiatives align with national frameworks to safeguard the stability, reliability, and efficiency of the entire electricity value chain. Our common goal is to ensure that every Nigerian, regardless of location, has access to reliable electricity that powers homes, businesses, industries, and drives our collective economic growth. Achieving this requires harmonization of standards, alignment of regulatory frameworks closely with you to accelerate electrification, deepen market development, and broaden access across communities. The Rural Electrification Agency, REA, stands ready to provide you with the technical and financial support needed to deliver impactful projects and innovative solutions like mini-grids, standalone home systems that extend electricity access to your most remote and energy-poor areas. As we deliberate during this summit, I urge us all to use this platform to support the Akwa Ibom State Government in shaping a workable and bankable policy and regulatory framework that enables electricity access expansion throughout the state. Identifying practical approaches to leveraging finance and investment into the state, and developing a sustainable electricity market that attracts more private sector participation, protects consumers, and ensures that everyone is working towards the same vision of a modern, efficient, and inclusive electricity sector that supports the state and its economic ambitions. Your Excellency, before I conclude, allow me to stress a few points that may be slightly outside of the speech of the Honorable Minister. That as we energize Akwa Ibom State, we must focus on industry. Productivity is a key element to consuming electricity. And as we start to commercialize the value chain, we have seen that Nigeria certainly has challenges of affordability and potentially a wage issue. For us to address this, we must industrialize. We must increase productivity. We must increase our gross domestic product. We must increase income into our people's hands. This is the only way we're only going to be able to deliver a sustainable energy value chain. In conclusion, let me commend the dedication of all stakeholders gathered here today. I am confident that the outcomes of this summit will mark the beginning of a new era for the Akwa Ibom State Government, and an era defined by resilience, inclusiveness, sustainability, capable of powering both the aspirations of its people and economic prosperity of the state. God bless Akwa Ibom State, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And thank you, the Honorable Minister for Power. We truly honor and appreciate you. Your Excellency, that was the first keynote address. And the second one would lead us through the Nigeria's electricity sector reforms journey and point us to lessons that we can draw from there as a state. And Your Excellency, this second keynote address will be taken by Mr. Ayo Ekpo, who is the team lead power component UK Knife. Please, can we put our hands together, celebrate, and welcome this power doyen as he comes to lead us through the reforms journey.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoeno, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor and Chairperson of the Organizing Committee of this auspicious summit, standing on all the established protocols, please permit me to proceed in the interest of time. Your Excellency, I'm asked today to speak on a subject that is dear to my heart, Nigeria's electricity sector reform, the lessons for Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, in opening, let me say that we gather here in Ikot in a defining moment in Nigeria's electricity reform journey, a journey that began formally in 2001 with the promulgation of Nigeria's first national electric power policy. And in just a year from now, we'll be marking the 25th anniversary of the establishment of that policy. It has been a quarter of a century of reforms, of hopes raised and dashed, of progress made and lost, of lessons painfully learned. However, as someone who has had the singular privilege of being in the process right from the very beginning in 2001 and walking along the corridors of Nigeria's power sector reforms, I can say that while we have not truly delivered fully on the promise, it is also true that our electricity reform story is not a one-sided story of failure. It is also a story of resilience, of hard-won lessons, and of opportunities that remain firmly, I would say, within our grasp. Your Excellency, our reform journey is one of understanding the political economy of power. Let me begin with one of the simple truths that I have learned in these 25 years. And it is that electricity reform in Nigeria and probably elsewhere is 99% of politics and 1% economics. That 1%, the engineering, the financing, the tariff modeling, the training, and the human capacity development is extremely important, very important. But it is the 99%, the politics, the governance, the stakeholder engagement, the hard work of gaining and retaining credibility that makes or breaks reform. This is the lesson of Nigeria's electricity sector over the past 25 years. And so you'll permit me if I just try and trace the timeline. In 2001 to 2007, we had the promise of reform. The National Electric Power Policy set out a very bold vision at the time. The Electric Power Sector Reform Act of 2005, which I had the privilege of trying to get the National Assembly to pass between 2001 and 2003, created the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission. It mandated the unbundling of NEPA as we knew it then, and I'm sure we all remember NEPA, and it paved the way for privatization. In that period, in early 2003, it was my privilege to have the National Assembly pass that act. We know the act is 2005, isn't it? But it was actually passed for the first time in 2003. But for certain reasons that emerged later, President Obasanjo did not assent to the act, and it lapsed at the end of the session of the National Assembly that ended in June 2003. The act was not passed again until March 2005. But by then, we had lost the powerful momentum that brought together diverse stakeholders, particularly very credible domestic and foreign operators and investors, to support and participate actively in these reforms. The, shall I say, loss of time was compounded by the decision by President Umaru Yar'Adua in 2007, October, to suspend the implementation of electricity reforms. And the final blow was his inexplicable wholesale removal of the entire leadership of the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, all chairmen and 6 commissioners, an act that badly damaged the Commission's credibility and independence. Between 2010 and 2015, we had the privatization era. Assets were sold, expectations were raised, but sadly, the foundations were weak. While the actual process itself of bidding and selling was very transparent, and I know because I was part of it, the quality of the buyers for the distribution companies left a lot to be desired, unlike we had for the generating companies. And the advice from NERC that most of these so-called core investor groups did not pass NERC's fit and proper test was largely ignored by the National Council on Privatization. Yet another example of 99% politics and 1% economics. Let me hasten to add, however, that politically, there were 2 very good reasons for going ahead, nevertheless, even if I'm the one saying so myself. First of all, it wasn't clear that there were any serious foreign investors willing to take a bet on the Nigerian electricity sector. Remember, we had that gap. When people were interested between 2001 and 2003, there was a huge amount of interest. I remember that I went with the then Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, went around the world, Frankfurt, Paris, London, Houston, and we met investors, and we got signed commitments from the likes of RWE, Thames Water, Southwest Power, Aeon, Électricité de France. They were interested in participating in the process, but that gap that we couldn't explain, we lost them, and they left. And they said, well, we'll sit back and watch what the Nigerians do this time, but we will not jump in. It was also not clear that we had credible Nigerian investors better than the group of preferred bidders for the discos at the time. What we had at the time was the best that Nigeria had. Second, in 2012, given the uncertainty even then that the government of the day would win the re-election in 2015, it was simply a case of doing it now or never at all. In hindsight, given what has happened in these past 12 to 13 years, I believe that the decision to go ahead was justified. But whether this view is correct is a matter that will always generate heated discussion. So with the transactions done and the distribution companies, that's the discos, handed over to the core investors, yet another, even more serious and major challenge emerged regarding the nature of corporate governance that was brought into the discos. The reality is that while the quality of almost all the preferred bidder groups left a lot to be desired, the same was also true on the public sector side. Instead of focusing on turning around the distribution companies that they took over, the core investors chose to game the system and to take full advantage of a federal government that had been made to think that Nigerians do not want electricity to be commercially priced, but prefer it to be subsidized. That's not true. And the watchdogs in NERC and in BP were conspicuous in their failure to hold these disco core investors to full account. 2016 to 2023 were the crisis years. The system groaned under liquidity shortfalls, stranded capacity, and weak governance in both the public and private sector responsibilities. Tariffs were frozen by politics, post-privatization monitoring was absent, even though the federal government was fully represented on the boards of the discos. Investments consequently stalled, losses grew, debts and accumulated liabilities cascaded through the entire value chain, and the entire Nigerian electricity supply industry became an insolvent entity, held up only by generating companies and gas suppliers that delivered energy only out of patriotism and a refusal to do what commercial common sense demanded. In 2020, as His Excellency the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom has pointed out, Nigerian governors, under the aegis of the Nigerian Governors Forum, recognized very clearly that continuing the old system was a sure road to the permanent collapse of the system built on the back of an increasingly firm and insolvent grid. Their collective action led to the amendment of the 1999 Constitution and the enactment of the Electricity Act, which effectively put an end to the single national electricity market guided, regulated, controlled, and operated centrally out of Abuja. These legislations brought about a major evolution and fully enabled the devolution of electricity powers to the states, a power that had been denied them since 1972 when NEPA was created, even though, as we all know, Nigeria is supposedly a federation. Nigeria's electricity sector is now in the era of state electricity markets, and we, gathered in this hall, who are pretty much the cream, the very best of Nigeria's electricity sector, many of us here who came into our own in the harsh crucible of executing these reforms, we cannot now afford to sit back and watch. Why? Because none of us here comes from or was born in the Federal Capital Territory. We must never forget that we come from states. And so let me turn, Your Excellency, to the paradox of Akwa Ibom's abundance and scarcity. These are the facts that will describe Akwa Ibom's journey. This state has resident in its territory assets that can quickly scale up to process enough natural gas to generate 2,500 megawatts of electricity daily, 24 hours a day. We have a thermal generation plant in Ibom Power Company Limited that was licensed and to be constructed to deliver 685 megawatts, but in 18 years actually, has not gone beyond its phase one nameplate capacity of 191 megawatts. Distribution assets in the state operated by the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company cannot deliver much beyond 380 megawatts, assuming in the first place that the energy could even be received by PHED. And these are with assets, most of which were historically paid for by Akwa Ibom State, but for which the state has not really received any credit or any equity allotments these past 19 years since PHED was established. With a per capita consumption of much less than 1 kilowatt hour per person, and less than 40% of the households in Akwa Ibom State possessing prepayment meters, it is clear that PHED, despite being nominally owned by the 4 PHED states, has forgotten its core purpose practically from the day it was privatized. This is the paradox of Akwa Ibom, the abundance of resources and the scarcity of supply. But there's a new pathway. Akwa Ibom has chosen a new direction. The electricity policy sets the vision of universal access, reliable supply, and a diversified mix of energy sources with gas as a transition fuel. The electricity law provides the legal backbone for doing so. It establishes the regulator, the State Electrification Agency, and the State Electrification Fund, and devolves regulatory authority from NERC to the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Regulatory Commission, which will soon be established. But the reality is that policy texts do not deliver power. Only a relentless focus on execution intensity, on credibility and trust do so. And so, let us look at the strategic priorities for Akwa Ibom. Drawing from experience, I tend to say something that I have been in this country to the University of Hard Knocks and harrowing experience for university. And drawing from that experiences, the state electricity policy, the law, and the realities that we have on the ground, I think that there are 5 strategic priorities that must be addressed by any credible electricity reform in the state. Number 1, operationalize the State Electricity Regulatory Commission. Appoint a team of capable, professional, credible commissioners. Let me say, Your Excellency, like they have in Enugu State, to develop technical and economic regulations and establish a market design that justifies and enables sustained investment into the state electricity market. Importantly, Your Excellency, again, I would say, like Enugu State, protecting this entity and ensuring its independence, similar to the way the Enugu State government has been doing for its regulatory commission, lies at the very heart of enabling this new but vital institution to fulfill its role. Second, focus on making Akwa Ibom's blessings work by bringing together the elements of the state electricity value chain into a mutually supporting commercial framework that is focused on serving the state first and foremost. This means recovering Ibom Power Company and restoring it to the promising path on which it started in 2006, and put it into a commercial relationship with the state electricity distribution company. Thereafter, we can then structure their collective operations to maximize the reach and commercial intensity by bringing in quality management for both companies via a transparent and professionally executed PPP process, improving the corporate governance and utilizing the benefits of state ownership to develop a long-term, cost-effective project financing program. This commercial value chain, Your Excellency, is the bedrock of the establishment and the growth of the state electricity market. Third, we need to focus also on the off-grid market, the proverbial unserved and underserved communities, the so-called rural areas, where the success of the state's reform program will be recorded in the hearts and minds of the citizenry. In the same professional manner in which the regulator will be established, we need to set up the electrification agency too. The MOU signed just last week with the REA is a key element in this aspect of the reform program. And utilizing all of Akwa Ibom's energy resource endowments, using the natural gas wherever it is cost efficient to do so, integrating renewables into the state energy mix, using biomass, wind, and small hydro, wherever it is we can find them alongside natural gas, but doing so in a sustainable, economically sensible manner. Fourth, Your Excellency, as the first three items get done, we must mobilize investment and investors that are eagerly looking for the kind of opportunities that Akwa Ibom has to offer. We must structure bankable public-private partnerships. We must leverage the pool of funding from development finance institutions that have been looking for opportunities to engage with Nigeria's infrastructure needs, and we must engage with serious decision makers outside Abuja. Also, we need to attract diaspora and domestic capital, particularly from Nigeria's pension funds that were designed specifically for the purpose of investing in infrastructure, and have also long awaited credible opportunities to invest the over 150 billion every month that they collect in pension contributions. Perhaps fifth, perhaps unnoticed, but I would say also very paramount, Your Excellency, we must invest in Akwa Ibom State into building up human capital, training regulators and policymakers, and being relentless about giving them every opportunity to develop their skills and their experience, thus positioning Akwa Ibom as a learning ground for state reform, because reforms are executed and sustained by trained technocrats who have integrity and full political backing. And that brings me, Your Excellency, to the political economy challenge. Speaking of politics, Your Excellencies and distinguished audience, over the years it has become very clear to me, and I think to my colleagues, some of whom are in this room today from the trenches, that the greatest challenge we face is not technical, it is political. Will this state government, under Your Excellency, have the courage to allow tariffs that reflect costs while sensibly deploying funding to make capital projects in rural areas cost-effective? Will this government insist on and firmly protect regulatory independence even when politics pressures us? Will we build partnerships across government with the private sector, with the DFIs, rather than capture reform for patronage? Will it walk the talk? I believe Your Excellency has answered this question simply and directly. You have said, yes, you will, and that is what you have said, and we all heard it today. And so, permit me, with genuine humility, to address our leaders directly. To the federal government represented here by very senior officers from the executive and the legislative branches, the federal government must now become a partner and not a gatekeeper. Support states like Akwa Ibom and others as they embark on the very hard labor of creating pathways where there were absolutely none before. This means a collaborative and not an aloof and one-sided transition of regulatory responsibility, or shouting at states and telling them that they do not know what they are doing. Instead, the federal government must recognize and act decisively on that recognition that without a reliable national grid, the states will not develop markets with depth. The two must work together. This means that as states are restructuring their intra-state markets, so also must the federal government restructure the Transmission Company of Nigeria to make it become like the states that are being driven now by commercial intensity. And to the states, I must say that the templates are being written by states like Enugu, like Abia, and of course, Akwa Ibom State. Electricity reform is now your responsibility. The states must buckle up and build institutions, train people, design carefully, and never forget that without working hard at gaining credibility, markets will definitely fail. In closing, Your Excellency, I want to remind us not to get caught up in a technocratic bubble. We must never forget that electricity reform is not abstract. It is about the child who cannot study at night. It's about the patient whose surgery fails without power. It's about the entrepreneur who is forced to shut down because all his profits goes into running a generating set. Your Excellency, please never forget that reforms fail when credibility is lost. And credibility will always be high, and reforms will succeed when integrity and execution meet and work with political courage. Akwa Ibom now has the chance to show Nigeria a new way. Let this summit mark the moment when we turn abundance into supply, potential into prosperity, and policy into power. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo Ekpo. Your Excellency, you would notice that I didn't have to ask for an applause for Mr. Ekpo because his paper was informative, challenging, and very inspiring. I trust that Akwa Ibom State is really ready to show the new way in the sector under discussion. Your Excellency, when he was asking those questions, is Akwa Ibom ready to do this? Is Akwa Ibom ready to do that? I was looking for Mr. Judge. I wish he brought your microphone to you. I know you would have been answering yes, 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 and yes. Please, can we celebrate the ready governor of Akwa Ibom State? And I trust that these transformations are sure to come. Your Excellency, we now step into a moment where we receive some goodwill messages from some of our leaders who have come to watch and to encourage Akwa Ibom as we take on the new path. Your Excellency would have about 6 speakers in the series of goodwill messages. But let me plead, for want of time, as you would already see, that because we're talking power and energy, time appears to be running faster. I'd like to plead that when you come, it would be ideal for you to associate yourself with the already established protocol. It will really save time so we can move faster. Well, Your Excellency, the man I call next, I doubt I'm able to regulate him. But if he accepts to be regulated by me, glory be to God. Let me invite the first speaker in the series for Goodwill Messages is the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, represented by the Chairman House Committee on Power, please can we put our hands together to celebrate the right
taking the bull by the horn. And I pray that God will continue to give you the courage and what it takes to confront the challenges of the power industry, because I'm in it, I know what it takes, but you will succeed. God being our help. Mr. Speaker, I've asked me to represent him because he's unavoidably absent due to other state functions. But he said he will always find time to come. He's been here once and he will come again. Mr. Speaker says he's deeply honored to be invited again by His Excellency, Pastor Umo Eno, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, and the good people of the state of the land of promise at this Electricity Summit 2025. I'm happy to be back again at the home state of the President of the Senate, His Excellency, Senator Goodwill, Akwa Ibom GCON. The theme of the summit, Attending Energy Summit and Universal Access for Akwa Ibom State within the framework of Nigeria electricity supply industry, is a testament to the state government's commitment to delivering good governance to the people of Akwa Ibom State. The summit no doubt represents a timely and strategic response to the opportunities created by the new electricity governance framework, which signals the beginning of a new epoch in the subnational energy leadership. The initiative underscores the imperative of states beginning their design of pathways to energy security, market availability, and universal access. I want to sincerely appreciate the governor and his team for this forthrightness, courage, visionary insight in putting the event together, and for demonstrating a model of forward-looking governance that places the citizens at the center of policy innovation. Distinguished guests, this historic moment provides an extraordinary platform to rethink how subnational governments can lead Nigeria's power sector's renewal and delivery benefits to the citizens. The theme of the summit draws our attention to the urgent need for innovative policies, strategic investments, and inclusive planning to close the gap and stimulate economic transformation. It is an indication that Akwa Ibom State is positioning itself as a model for other subnational governments. Aligning local priorities with national electricity supply industry to achieve both energy security and universal access while driving sustainable developments across the power ecosystem. The 10th House of Representatives have made a bold commitment to the transformation of the electricity sector as a principle to national development. The House has worked on 4 legislative proposals that has brought the power sector to this present framework. This is what the House is doing, and the House again is also proposing another bill where both the National Assembly and the state houses of assembly will work together as a joint legislative regulatory task force on state electricity markets, so as to help resolve the frictions that are likely to come up between the National Electricity Regulation Commission and the state regulatory commissions. Of course, where the Constitution has given both tiers of government the same power, there's likely to be conflicts. But with this, the National Assembly and the state houses of assembly, together with other government agencies, will be able to resolve such conflicts. The Speaker says he wished that this summit, a very good, successful tenor, that they will bring up ideas that will put Akwa Ibom State electricity market at the forefront and as an example for other subnationals to emulate. This is the view of the Speaker, and he wishes us all well and successful deliberation. But I, as chairman of the House Committee on Power, I wish to say that, Mr. Governor, we will pray for you, and I will pray for you. You need to be very, very courageous. You need to be very, very bold and strong to take on the electricity market. And again, politics need to be put away. Why I say politics need to be put away? The power industry is a very expensive industry. If you say whatever you do now, you are laying foundation for the Akwa Ibom yet unborn. Because If you see what is happening in Egypt today, it is because they have power. You have small business. It is you, if you lay the foundation, the orientation will change. The orientation of the ordinary Nigerian of I must drive SUV, I must drive a big car, we go. By the time they have power, they begin to think of what do I do so that my children yet unborn will meet the wealth that I have. And it's only power that guarantees such thing. And of course, if you go to some places today, people are doing away with oil transformer. And for you to get the real transformer, which is not oil, it means that you have to pay more. Oil transformer and the other transformer are not the same thing. So the difference in cost, you may be placing an order for a transformer and somebody says, oh, I'm buying you. By the time you tell the press, a transformer is costing 50 million. No. Is there no transformer for 20 million? Is there no transformer for 10 million? They wouldn't know the difference. That is where you need to remain bold. That is where you need to remain courageous. Why are they doing away with oil transformers? Because vendors, that is the first thing they target. And the other transformer does not even require maintenance. So the boldness, the political will, the funding is required, because I'm happy for the state of Akwa Ibom today. The roads you have are roads that can last for another 20 years, I must tell you. Whether you like it or not, your successive governors have really invested in infrastructure, and you have taken a cue. But now, how do we place food on the table for people? You can only do that by providing the enabling environment. What is the enabling environment? Power. Power. Security, power. I'm happy my brother here has spoken. He said, the child who wants to study needs light. Of course, medical doctors are running away because there's no power to do operation. There's no power to do their surgical operation. Therefore, they need, once you do that, sir, posterity will always remember you. Even when nobody in this world is here. They remember there was a time that had a governor that laid the foundation. This is where you need very bold and you need to be strong. Not listening to the press. It costs a lot. A lot of them are not offshore of the chef things you buy. There are some products, there are some equipment you place order. Even 5 years' time, you have not received them, yet you are paid. You need this. But let me say, for us to achieve the theme of the subject, we need to align. What the state itself must coordinate with other national agencies. Of course, I'm happy that the MD of Johnson is here, the MD of NEMBET is here, and NEC and TCN, because you need those, the NEC you are going to create, the State Regulatory Commission you have to create requires they have to interface with these people to reduce the areas of friction. And again, while you are respecting the national grid codes, of course, you have to respect the national grid codes while developing their own specific transformations codes. So for you to do that, first of all, you need to work closely with the existing TCN. If you don't, how do you even know which and which, particularly in a state like this, where you are being serviced by a disco that's servicing about 4 states. Ensuring a balanced energy mix that integrates renewables and reduces overdependence in one particular source. If you keep depending on one particular source, once there is a failure, the whole place is plunged into darkness. And of course, I'm happy and grateful to God for what you have done. With your state energy policy and with the state electricity law, which has been signed, so it means that you already have the legal backing. What remains now is the technical and the financial strong policies. Of course, we are politicians, but then we must balance it up. The man who manages the fund we are putting is important. The technical part is also very, very important, because at times we work under pressure. How do we achieve the access? We need to close up the gap between access and availability. How do we do that? We can only do that by aligning our policy alignment and by the regulatory certainty. One of the things that destroyed our petroleum industry was lack of the Petroleum Industry Act. So a lot of people left because today a new tax comes in, tomorrow a new fee comes in. By the time there is policy certainty, of course, a lot of people will come. You know, from outside, and not just from outside, you know, and everybody in this hall know, certainly that Akwa Ibom is a next place for the destination for investment because of the peace, even because of the environment. So once they are sure of the certainty of policies, of course, you are going to make Akwa Ibom a different state. It becomes a hub. I'm sure that I'm not praying that people should live in Nnewi, but of course, I'm sure that our band in Nnewi may want to come and buy all the place here to establish, because Akwa Ibom people are very, very they respect people, and they are homely, and for everything you need in a man. And of course, with what has been going on, with time, people will know that Akwa Ibom, they have brains. They are no longer what it used to be. They are now fully in schools and they are doing well. So please help in that direction. Of course, you have to invest in grid expansion and infrastructure, which is important, because with what is going on now, very soon, I don't know how much TCN have to do that. Today, what you have, I have a little insight. You know, Federal Character will tell you something. If you are budgeting this, what is going to this state, what is going to this state. Because of the abundant huge resources you have and the finances, you need to embark on grid expansion. If you do that, that is when all these things will come out to be good. And of course, PPP, public-private partnership. And you have to mobilize investment. After this, there's nothing wrong. You go in for investment driver. Sir, it takes money. That's why if consultants you use, when they charge you here, that is for the services they render. You need to engage more consultants who will help you drive. There are many companies. AO is here. He has told you some people that they invested because there was a gap. They refused to come back because they were not sure. Are they ready now? Are they not ready? Such people can come and come to the state and look at it. Once we're able to do this, I'm sure that what we are doing here today will become a reality, and prosperity will never forget your government. On this note, I say thank you, and I wish Akwa Ibom State very well.
Thank you very much,
I'm
Mr.
sure
Speaker.
I kept to time. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, the brass band. Thank you, the brass band. Your Excellency, the Governor, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Speaker preempted me. Mr. Speaker, I was not going to make any comment on time. I intended to just run away from the subject completely. But it's okay because you spoke for Mr. Speaker and also spoke as the chairman, House Committee on Power. You're both a chairman and power is powerful. You kept to time for a keynote address, not for a goodwill message. Can we celebrate Mr. Speaker one more time? Thank you. Your Excellency would proceed to take the next goodwill message from the National Security Advisor. Your Excellency has already hinted, he's represented at this event by Air Vice Marshal E.E. Effium. Your Excellency, we know that the military is precise. So this particular goodwill message will be precise. Can we please celebrate him as we try to ensure that we finish this on time as predicted.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Eno, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, may I stand on already established protocol. I am Air Vice Marshal E.E. Efium, the Director of Critical National Asset and Infrastructure Protection at the Office of the National Security Advisor, and the power sector falls directly under my sphere of influence. I bring good tidings from the Office of the National Security Advisor. The power sector is the backbone of national security, economic stability, and public safety because it provides the electricity that drives infrastructure, government operations, and our daily lives. Consistent electricity is therefore essential for sustenance of development and stability, including driving investment and job creation. On behalf of the National Security Advisor, may I congratulate His Excellency Pastor Umo Eno for this bold initiative aimed at improving the economic potential of Akwa Ibom State, as well as improve the social and well-being of the state populace. A secure and resilient electricity generation is not just an economic asset, it is a national imperative. While the state embraces this great stride of state-generated electricity, the framework must also take into cognizance the security of these critical assets, as that is often overlooked until the associated threats are brought to bear on these assets. On that, the Office of the National Security Advisor is available for collaboration with Akwa Ibom State to assure the protection and resilience of these economic enabling assets of the state. The future of our nation's security depends on the steps we take today, and the Office of the National Security Advisor once again commends His Excellency and the entire people of Akwa Ibom State for this laudable commitment. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Akwa Ibom State.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, the National Security Advisor. We appreciate you, and of course, we really, really appreciate the precision as was predicted. Your Excellency would now be hearing from your brother governors who have come to be a part of the Security Summit. I'd like to begin with the governor of Enugu State, who has been severally cited as an exemplar in the area of discussion. Please, he's represented here by the Secretary to the Enugu State Government, Professor Chidebere Onya. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate him? Looking in every inch like a professor and secretary to the state government. Can we celebrate him?
My glasses. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Eno, PhD, Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Senator Dr. Ekon Eyakenyi, the Chairperson of this event, the Speaker, the Federal House of Representatives, here is represented by my friend and brother, the Chairperson, Right Honorable Victor Nwokolo, the Honorable Minister for the Honorable Minister for Power, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Adebayo Adelabo, FCA, represented by his Chief Technical Advisor, Dr. Adebayo, all the other governors here represented. Your Excellency, please permit me to stand on the well-established protocol. I bring you greetings, Your Excellency, from the good people of Enugu State. It is my singular honor to be invited as the guest of honor and to be allowed to give this Goodwill message at the opening ceremony of the foremost Akwa Ibom State Electricity Summit of 2025. It is a day of joy to mark and celebrate this significant economic growth milestone as it kickstarts the development of the sub-national electricity market in the state. The fifth alteration of the 1999 Constitution in 2023 and the passage of the enactment of the Electricity Act 2023 by His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, gave birth to the development of sub-national electricity markets by states, marking a turning point in the national electricity supply industry, as it is known. It is worthy to note that the 36 states of the Federation, through the Nigerian Governors Forum, have been instrumental and supported the amendment and preparation of the Electricity Bill, now Electricity Act of 2023. States have been significantly empowered to support the federal government in the growth and development of the electricity sector within their jurisdiction. The recognition that an adequate and reliable electricity supply sector is the catalyst for economic growth and development of any economy signifies the importance every state attributes to the sector, which is also exemplified in the speech by His Excellency. We as leaders may drive the development of infrastructure, institute policies that boost the economy, undertake agricultural, educational, and business initiatives and projects, ensure security of lives and property. However, without providing for adequate electricity supply to our citizens, we have merely scratched the surface to ensure the improvement of the quality of lives of our people. States that are committed to developing their state's specific electricity sector and markets are implementing the provisions of the Electricity Act of 2023 by passing their state electricity law, which Akwa Ibom has done, setting up their state electricity regulatory agency, which Akwa Ibom State is about doing, and notifying the national regulator, NEC, and the National Council on Privatization. We are ready to harness locally available energy resources, undertake the necessary processes, and facilitate the entrance of investors, operators, developers, and service providers into the states while integrating development of the sector into the national wholesale electricity market. State electricity market, which as most people refer to the sub-national electricity market, sets out a clear path to any state that wishes to become energy sufficient. The benefits far outweigh any challenges that they will encounter, as well as the teething problems that they will undergo. And trust me, Enugu State is well aware of this. It is against this position that we reject the proposed amendment, alteration, revision, or preparation of any amendment to the Electricity Act of 2023. Every act at the early stage of its implementation is subject to interpretations and misinterpretations. The key thing that we must all keep in mind is that we must all strongly be patient and go through the process, because there was a thought process underpinning the initial act being set in place and signed in the first instance. As we witness the takeoff of the Akwa Ibom national electricity sector and this market, we congratulate the leadership of Akwa Ibom State, led by His Excellency, Pastor Umar Enon, PhD, for his monumental stride that is people-focused while prioritizing investor-driven projects and investment-friendly initiatives. We congratulate the great people of Akwa Ibom State for the support they will give to the implementation of the electricity policy and the law. May we continue to learn, partner, and reap the benefits of developing our electricity market. And Your Excellency, on another note, to your point, Enugu State will continue to work with Akwa Ibom State to support you and also to provide the learning that we have experienced already in our journey so far. We're not better, it's just that we have started this journey a bit early, and there are lessons to be learned that can be integrated into your strategy. Enugu State supports you, and we know that what you're doing is in line with the vision to develop sub-nationals and also develop a region. So thank you so much for having us come here. God bless the great people of Akwa Ibom State. God bless the great people of Enugu State sitting in this crowd and at home. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so much.
We celebrate the governor of Enugu State, represented here by the very erudite Professor Thank you very much, the brass band. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Governor of Enugu State. Your Excellency, we'll now be hearing from the Governor of Abia State, who is also represented at this event by the Honorable Commissioner of Power and Public Utilities. Please can we welcome Engineer Ikechukwu Monday. Can we celebrate him? Governor, Abia State. Thank you, the band. Your Excellency, please.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Omoeno, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, High Excellency Senator Ikon Eyekenyi, the representative of the Speaker, representative of the Honorable Minister for Power, representatives of governors, permit me, sir, to stand on well-established protocols, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Sir, I bring you greetings from your brother, the Executive Governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Chioma Oti, who tried everything possible to be here today, but due to other states' urgent engagement, he called off and asked me to come and represent him. And sir, he wrote a speech. So I will just read his speech as directed. Thank you. This is a text of goodwill message delivered by His Excellency Dr. Alex Chioma Oti, OFR, represented by Engineer Ikechukwu Monday, Honorable Commissioner for Power and Public Utilities at the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Summit 2025. There is a consensus among experts and industry players that the development of our nation will depend largely on the amount of electricity that is accessible to both industrial and domestic use. The Akwa Ibom State Electricity Policy and Law, which has already been signed with the full awareness of how it will help flog businesses and transform lives by opening the state to electricity innovations, partnership, expanded framework that will provide access to remote places in the state. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, let me specially congratulate my brother, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency, Pastor Omoeno, and his team for this wonderful initiative, for putting together this summit to chart a new energy direction for the state. This is a clear signal that Governor Eno has placed electricity at the heart of delivering on the state's socio-economic development program. For us in Abia State, solving the problem of inadequate energy supply is sacrosanct. Being a major yardstick for measuring our impact, it became of utmost necessity that we provide institutional support to actualize the geometric power project. For us as a government, it was reassuring to see how the landmark achievement helped restore business morale and boost productivity in our state. Today, over 9 local governments areas in Abia State enjoy steady power supply under the Aba ring fence. This is very peculiar to Akwa Ibom State that has the Ibom power plant. Also, without any delays, we keyed into the Electricity Act 2023 as regard electricity market in the country. Earlier this year, we signed into law the Abia State Electricity Bill to create a new energy ecosystem for our people. Our idea was simple. We converged to put together the best of legislation that will stimulate the enterprise that we are known for and drive prosperity for our people. I must add also, provided legal backing to the establishment of the Abia State Electricity Regulatory Authority, ASERA, which has since commenced the process of creating the Abia State electricity market with a commitment to ensure that generation, transmission, and distribution of electricity are properly monitored and regulated. We are meticulous with our choice of people to drive this, ensuring that only globally renowned players in the energy sector occupied key roles. Your Excellency, this is very fundamental to achieve this vision. May I also announce to you that we just recently signed the Abia State Mini Grid Regulation, which among other things have widened the playing field for competent investors and market operators with our focus on providing access to underserved and unserved communities. In the same vein, our conversation with Interstate Electrics Limited, the owners of 60% share of EEDC, to acquire the stake in Abia State is nearing conclusion, with plans already in place to link Omahia and other parts of Abia State to the Aba Ring fence area. Your Excellency, sir, you mentioned in your speech about PHED. I think there's great similarity between what we are doing in Abia State and what you're planning to do, sir. Abia, I can gradually say, may not have everything completely sorted out, but we have made so much progress in the energy sector. The energy breakthrough we have recorded in Abia strongly lends credence to the demonstrable objectives behind this summit. This gathering, therefore, is both timely and important. What this summit suggests is that Akwa Ibom State is intentional about increasing its share of electricity in the energy consumption basket. Improving access, sources, and availability of energy is how we drive growth. Our intention in Abia State is to continue to partner with you, sir, to create opportunities for our people by sharing ideas and providing each other with necessary technical support. We can create an energy belt that serves our shared interests, especially in ensuring that electricity is made available for the millions of people in the rural areas. Even then, I must be the first to admit that the conversations surrounding this summit and the ones that I've listened to so far have set Akwa Ibom on a perpetual upward spiral on the energy ladder. I am aware that His Excellency has set sight on making Akwa Ibom a subnational leader in the energy market. Going by the quality of engagement from industry experts, key players, investors that are in this room, today, I am assured that this goal will be met in record time. We also appeal to the National Assembly to ensure that the Electricity Act 2023 is also given a time to progress and be successful. So we have to be patient as a child learning how to walk. Once again, sir, I congratulate His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umar Eno, and his team for the tireless effort put in to set the state on the right path, and for opening our eyes to many possibilities that can be achieved through proprietary insights, strategy, dedication, and partnership. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you all.
We thank you too, sir. Thank you, the band. Your Excellency, dear Governor, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to now invite for his message of goodwill, His Excellency, the Governor of Cross River State. He is represented in this occasion by His Honorable Commissioner for Power and Renewable Energy, Prince Eka Williams.
His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoeno, the performing Governor of Akwa Ibom State, the man I respect very deeply, our Deputy Governor and Chairman of this summit. I bring greetings from your colleague, the Governor of Cross River State, and your brother. Akwa Ibom State and Cross River State are known to be brothers and sisters. And it's on that note that whatever Akwa Ibom is doing affects Cross River State directly. If you have sufficiency in electricity, we are sure that you borrow some. If we have sufficiency in electricity, we are sure that we will lend you some. You and my governor have a whole lot in common. While my governor is an apostle, you are a pastor. I equally know that both of you are Amalekites. Both of you are energy hungry. He has asked me to come here and take every note of everything that we're doing here. And I've been writing since I came. Your Excellency, what you have done today is not just for Akwa Ibom State. Let me be honest with you. I am the forum chairman of Coalition of Commissioners of Energy in Nigeria. And this bold step of yours is highly commendable. We'll be looking for an opportunity to have a template like the one you have set out. The cream de la cream in the energy sector are in this house. Name it, from embed to neck to rear, everybody is here. And I'm sure that what you have done will cascade to other states, and the 36 states of the Federation will take this as a template. Excellency, I want to thank you very much for this. And again, I want to lead my voice that it is too early for us to tamper with the Electricity Act of 2023. We should hurry slowly. Please, National Assembly members that are here, we want to plead with you. that will give us some time. Let us make our mistakes so that when we want to make amendment, we'll make them once and for all. It will not be too good for us to be making amendment every year. We agree that Akwa Ibom is coming up. Cross River State has already signed the law. We are close to where we are now. But I think all of the industry players should lay in their voice to make sure that we hurry slowly as far as the Electricity Act is concerned. On that note, I will not want to bore you. I want to say congratulations, Akwa Ibom State. I want to say congratulations to the good people of Akwa Ibom State. I want to say that we are with you throughout your period of growth. For Cross River State, we've signed our law. Our Regulatory Commission is going to be set up any moment from now. We are almost at par with what you're doing here. I want to say thank you, His Excellency, for this wonderful initiative. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. Your Excellency, Brother Governor of Cross River State. Your Excellency, the Governor of Bayelsa State is represented at this event by the Managing Director of the Bayelsa Electricity Company Limited, Engineer Olis Kemenabo. Please, can we put our hands together, celebrate and welcome him. This will be the last for the governors. I will take a few more and then we'll conclude on the series of goodwill messages. We must commend the brass band for their sensitivity. This one celebrates Bayelsa State, and I'm sure that the governor would appreciate that very tune. Your Excellency, please. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, like my governor would say, my brother governor, you are fully aware that but for pressing issues, he would have been personally here. In the last 2 or 3 years, our retreats have always been held in Akwa Ibom. To let you understand how he loves Akwa Ibom. And thank you, band, for the music you used in ushering me up here. That was a typical Bayelsa arrangement. Just about 3 o'clock this morning, he woke me up and said, I must represent him here. I didn't know how I could have been here earlier, but honestly, I found myself here as early as possible. He has asked me to inform you that what you are doing here is exactly what he has done already. The Electricity Act 2023, in its words, has opened up the energy sector in such a decentralized manner that it will enhance productivity and growth. However, he has also asked me to say that all of this can only materialize if we match technical hands-on with regulatory frameworks. His last words were that otherwise, the same people we have been blaming as being the woes of electricity in Nigeria will turn out to be our heroes. And that we must work collaboratively, we must have a strategy, we must have tactics, and we must have an aim with which we will be able to work out a regional power pool that will exit into the national grid instead of depending on the national grid. Whatever thing I say here, if it is wrong, I accept it. If it is right, it's that of the governor. You look at me very well. I was not born this form. I was born a handsome man. I found myself in a technical environment that was very, very compromised. I got myself hooked up into an electric field. That was how I got myself this new face. That happened on the 19th of October 2005. God has kept me alive to see what our late sage, His Excellency Senator Melford Okilo tried in Bayelsa State, then under River State, by creating an off-grid system that had over 496 kilometers of distribution network and over 196 distribution network that was serving the current entity, geographical entity called Bayelsa State. Up until 1999, Bayelsa State was not on the grid. But because we didn't have any sustainable plan, by the time it got to 2005, we had lost our independence, and when the national grid came in, entitlement came in. The challenges we have been facing in this part of our world is the fact that we are so entitled. Sir, these are my own words. We are going to face entitlement syndromes, and you have to look at the other side. Some persons will come that, after all, this is our own share of the state cake, and therefore we are not going to pay for electricity. Others might come and tell you that the power plant is within my community, and therefore I have no reason to pay. Electricity cannot thrive through socio-political arrangements. Electricity has to be driven through technical and economic indices. And unless we recognize that fact, the way the developed world has seen it, the developed world sees electricity as an alternative energy, oxygen, without which they cannot exist. Nobody here can exist without 1 minute of lack of oxygen. That is the way the developed world sees electricity. And it can only be enterprise-driven. It cannot be socio-politically driven. So I ask that as the states that make up Port Harcourt Electricity Company, we must find a strategy. We must find something that will make us unite, work together, tactics, and at the end of the day, we are going to achieve our aims and objectives. Thank you very much, and may God bless Akwa Ibom State. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and in any case, may God bless Bayelsa State. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, the brass band, and thank you, Your Excellency, the Governor of Bayelsa State. We truly appreciate your frank comments and interventions. Your Excellency, just 3 more, and we would finish with the goodwill messages and proceed to unveiling the state electricity law and policy. Your Excellency, we will not be hearing from some of our donors and international partners, just 2 of them, and then would end with 1 strategic stakeholder from Akwa Ibom State. Let me welcome, Your Excellency, the representative of the United Kingdom Nigeria Infrastructure Advisory Facility, that is UKNIFE, is represented at this event by Mr. Frank Edozie Please, can we put our hands together, celebrate him as he comes? And immediately after him, the brass band, if you reduce it for a minute. Immediately after him, Your Excellency, will be hearing from the United Nations Development Program. Their representative here also, Dr. Tony Muhumusa, should also please be on standby to speak after him. Thank you very much. Please celebrate him as he comes.
Your Excellency, Pastor Umo Eno, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Senator Akon Ayakenyi, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is on behalf of the United Kingdom Nigeria Infrastructure Advisory Facility, UKNIAF, that I stand before you to give these goodwill remarks. It is an honor and immense pleasure to extend our heartfelt congratulations personally to yourselves and also to Akwa Ibom State for these measures that you have taken that have made today a reality. The theme of this summit, which is attaining energy security and universal electricity access for Akwa Ibom State within the framework of Nigeria's electricity supply industry, resonates deeply with our shared vision at UKNIAF for universal access to sustainable energy across Nigeria for all Nigerians as individuals, but critically for businesses in Nigeria. As we meet here over the next 2 days, we stand at a pivotal moment in the evolution of Nigeria's energy landscape. The journey towards energy security and universal access is not merely an aspiration. It is an attainable goal of a key enabler for unlocking growth and development for Akwa Ibom State and its people. This summit presents a unique opportunity to start the journey to transform this goal into reality. We recognize that achieving our goal will require collaborative effort, innovative thinking, and a steadfast commitment to reform. It will also require a dogged fight for the interest of the vast majority with vested interests, of the vast majority whose better tomorrow is dependent on reorienting the minority with vested interests in the unprogressive status quo. This summit is therefore designed to foster meaningful dialogue, share best practices, and leverage on the collective expertise of the distinguished gathering. It may interest Your Excellencies to note, and also people in the room, that the journey to state electricity market is something that we're working with Akwa Ibom on, something that we've supported in Enugu State on, something that we are also supporting Oyo State on. But it's also a message we have taken to almost all of the 36 states in Nigeria via regional conferences. And everybody understands the importance of harnessing local capacity in addressing the energy needs of the people, energy access, while strengthening the national grid to ensure that our collective interests as a nation are met. By working together, we can navigate the complexities of the Nigerian electricity supply industry and unlock the potential that lies within Akwa Ibom State, and huge that potential is. At UKNIAF, we are proud to work alongside all states, as I said, in this transformation journey. And we are especially honored to have this opportunity in collaborating with Akwa Ibom State. Our commitment to supporting your efforts is unwavering, as we believe that state electricity markets present a unique opportunity to accelerate access to reliable and sustainable energy for all Nigerians, and very importantly, for businesses within Nigeria. And you may find that Akwa Ibom State, with ample supply of energy to its citizens, becomes an attractive industrial base for people that find it very convenient and profitable to locate their businesses here. As we engage in discussions and share the insights during this summit, let us be inspired by the possibilities that lie ahead. Together, we can lay the groundwork for sure-footed steps to a resilient energy future, steps that begin to effectively address the needs of today in the context of planned growth for tomorrow. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for your dedication to the vital cause, and I wish us all very fruitful deliberations in the coming 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the brass band. Please let me notify that we have just 2 more speakers, but I also want to plead with the 2 remaining speakers to see how to abridge their remarks, because there are some very important parts of this event that must happen on day 1, and we're aging out of time, please. Let me invite respectfully the resident representative of the United Nations Development Program, Your Excellency, represented at this event by Dr. Tony Muhmusa, to please accept to come forward for the penultimate message of goodwill at this event. Please come. Immediately after that, we'll be hearing from distinguished Senator Ekong Samson, who would give a goodwill message on behalf of all the strategic stakeholders in Akwa Ibom State, and that's how we end in this series. Please, UNDP, thank you.
Your Excellency, Pastor Umo Eno, Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Your Excellency, Senator Dr. Akon Yakenyi, apologies, Your Excellency, my name is Muhumuza, so everyone struggles with it everywhere I go, so, but I'll buy you coffee. Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I send you greetings from Madam Elsie, your sister, Atafa, UNDP resident representative, who unfortunately couldn't make it. But I also wanted to say my brother from Bayelsa State and I have something very much in common. His governor woke him up at 3 a.m. Now, yesterday I was planning to travel today to Nairobi, and my boss told me, cancel your trip. You have to go to Akwa Ibom, and I'm here. So she didn't stop at that, actually. Because it was evening, she told me to spend my own money, my own ticket money, and my accommodation to be here, but I don't regret it, Governor, because I'm really glad we are here because UNDP is fully committed, working with our very good friends, RIA and others, to accompany you in your very big and bold ambition to make a dent on what my brother here called the 99% politics, which is unfortunate. So we are really here to accompany you, and we are going to work with you. On her behalf, I would like to congratulate the government and people of Akwa Ibom upon reaching this important milestone in Akwa Ibom's energy journey. UNDP also congratulates you, Your Excellency, for the bold and commendable step in establishing your state electricity market. Convening this state electricity summit is a very big testament of your visionary leadership and a critical step towards realizing the ARISE agenda. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, energy is not just a local issue, but a global opportunity. Our UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, recently declared the energy revolution a very unstoppable one. And he actually announced that the world has actually passed a point of no return. He actually mentioned that in 2024 alone, $2 trillion had to flow into the energy sector alone, clean energy alone. And that was 800 billion beyond the fossil fuel, the money going into fossil fuel. So that's a very big opportunity that we really have, harnessing the potential of energy and also putting in more resources there. Your Excellency, UNDP is incredibly proud, a very proud partner to work with you in this journey, working with you through our initiatives and specifically our integrated smart states program to deliver a transformative high-impact agenda that you really have. Within the next few months, about 2 at most, UNDP will work with you to launch 2 key flagship projects in partnership with other institutions, including our RIF friends, as well as the University of Oyo. At the University of Oyo, UNDP is going to launch a university pod which will serve as a hub for innovation, nurturing the next generation of local talent, but it requires energy. So that's where we are actually working with you to address some of these challenges. Then secondly, through our Africa Mini-Grids program and in partnership with our friends, the Rural Electrification Agency, we will be unveiling a mini-grid to serve more than 100 households and in more than 1,000 people, while supporting productive use of applications in agriculture. So Your Excellency, this is a full commitment that UNDP has to work with you through our integrated smart states program, and we really count on your leadership to enable us to work here, and really want to thank you still for providing space to work with you. Your Excellency, your decisive leadership is positioning Akwa Ibom as a model for just, prosperous, and sustainable energy future. As I conclude, UNDP is proud to partner with you on this transformative agenda. May Akwa Ibom arise. Thank you very much.
Please, can we celebrate Dr. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Musa. Your Excellency, on a prophetic note, I think that just as he was asked to cancel his trip and come to Akwa Ibom State, for this summit, chances are that you will be asked to cancel your trips and relocate to Akwa Ibom State to help push the power agenda in Akwa Ibom State. Don't pray about it, it will happen. Your Excellency, let me welcome the distinguished Senator Ekong Samson. This will be the last in the series of Goodwill messages. If you're excited like I am, can you celebrate him? Celebrate him. Celebrate him as we thank you.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, a man with depth and range, Your Excellency Pastor Umeno, PhD, the chair of this summit, one of our own, and proudly so, our Deputy Governor, Your Excellency Akon Eyayi, probably one of us. The Honorable Speaker of the House of Reps, who is here through the chair of the House of Reps Committee, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, my colleague, as it were, my twin brother, who speaks for Uyo Central District in the Senate, my twin brother, and of course, my co-travelers in the House of Reps, Paul Ekpo, Ime Okun, and Bakir. On behalf of our caucus in the Senate and House of Reps, I bring very warm wishes to our governor and indeed the people of Akwa Ibom State. This conversation signposts a major vision that is driving the compass of growth in this state. But when you intervene in the power sector, you become a key driver of development. As an aside, one heard some concerns being raised here about the Military Act of 2003, the amendment, and one feels assured that, so the parliament has so much power, everybody is asking, don't touch the act, don't touch the act. This shows the power in the parliament. But as a caucus, we want to assure Our Excellency that the National Assembly aligns with your vision. Because this is one vision that we need to drive to change the flank of our economy. Because we must diversify. And one key pathway, one key trajectory to diversify is through the power sector. So readily, the National Assembly, we will align closely with the vision of Your Excellency, which has given Philip to this summit. So on behalf of the caucus, and speaking for our leader, the uncommon Senate President, Chief Dr. Godswill Akpabio, we salute the vision of Your Excellency and the state government, which has brought us to this conversation. And personally, this reminds me of my days in the state ESCO, when we framed the Akwa Ibom master plan to look at the range of deficits, how that could be corrected to drive our power sector. This clearly is a demonstrable courage by our governor. This step is bold, visionary, and foresighted, and you have our full assurances that we will support you as we've always done, so that this changes the lives of our people. When the Speaker of House of Reps spoke, he was happy that we are all here. My chairman, I want to tell you that we were in Lagos, we were in Abuja last week. We are always with our governor. Because in the Akwa Ibom State, we don't have Abuja front or Uyo front. We have equal Igbo front that drives our governance matrix. So this is quite good for our state, and it has really taken our state to Nigeria. It shows that great things are being contemplated and playing out in Akwa Ibom. We are very, very inspired, and you are fully assured that we will stand by you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the brass band. Gentlemen, and they don't come, please get to work. Thank you very, very much. Your Excellency, I need to just note that those were not ordinary goodwill messages, but they all came as statements of commitment to partner with His Excellency the Governor, and of course the government of Akwa Ibom State towards ensuring the realization of the objectives of this summit. Your Excellency, what we are opt for next will be the official unveiling of the state electricity policy and the state electricity law that was signed by His Excellency some months ago. Your Excellency, these two documents or instrument provides the legal foundation the legal framework for the realization of all the objectives of this electricity summit. And we trust, Your Excellency, that as these instruments are being unveiled today, that they would become really, really useful towards leading the implementation of the objectives of this electricity summit. Your Excellency would be joined for the unveiling by the Deputy Governor, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Minister, Honorable Minister, Ministry of Power, the governors of Cross River State, Governor of Bayelsa State and Abia State. Your Excellency, too, the Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly would also join. The representative of the National Security Advisor would also join, Your Excellency. Let me also note that the DG of the Rural Electrification Agency would also join for the unveiling. Your Excellency would also have Johnson Akinlowo, who is the MD NBET. I think he has stepped out, should have also joined. The Commissioner for Power. Please, all these names that I've mentioned, let me respectfully now ask the protocol to lead His Excellency the Governor and all the names mentioned to please come around for the unveiling. The Chairman of Ibom Power Company to also join, and of course the Acting MD. Please, can we celebrate all of them, distinguished senators, please to also join, as we shall officially unveil the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Law and the Akwa Ibom State Electricity Policy. Please, let's be properly positioned, honoring the protocol and Kade in public service, all of us properly standing. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Bassi, please, the DG of Campaigns, the Secretary to the State Government, and the Executive Assistant to the Governor to also join. This is very important, and we need all of them to be a part of this so that we are certain that they will also join hands with His Excellency. We will not fail to have the Attorney General, Commissioner for Justice also joining. Please, sir, come. Come, please, and join as we shall officially unveil this policy document. Please, just a minute, Your Excellency, so that these other strategic partners can be a part of this ensemble. We're almost there. We're almost there. And with this would end part one of the State's Electricity Summit 2025. I think that's okay. That's okay, Bassi. That's okay. Your Excellency, please. Thank you.
Once we open it, and then speak. Well, thank you so much, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, and all of us that are here. On behalf of the Akwa Ibom people, such a privilege to stand to unveil this electricity policy and laws that will help drive and regulate the electricity market in Akwa Ibom State. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you so much. The fireworks looks like the electricity that shall be permanent. Thank you so much, Your Excellencies. Thank you so much. With this, we have come to the end of the first part. But of course, the second part commences immediately. Thank you very much. the state electricity law and the state electricity policy, both documents providing the necessary legal framework for the optimization of the power objectives of the Akwa Ibom state government. The brass band, if you give me a minute, thank you very much. His Excellency, our Governor has approved that we take a 15-minute biological break. I think that's how it is best. A 15-minute tea break, please. Take a 15-minute tea break. So please would gather again. We'll reconvene by 3 p.m. 3 p.m. please. For the second part, 3 p.m. for the second part, just 15 minutes to stretch.